am tired of this stock AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Old Bear, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and joining me for round number 4 of First Shot is going to be...
This is Tangenberg, also known as Sriram Vishal, and we are here yet again for a game of CSGO for this tournament, First Shot, hosted by Playtonia, which carries a whopping prize pool of $2,400 US.
And we are going to be getting into round number 4. And you know, the build-up to round number 4, we have seen a lot of matches. Personally, we have casted a lot of them too. And we actually saw that the quality of gameplay from round 1... You remember round 1 games?
I mean, yes, those were, damn squibs, I would say, because the quality from round 1 and where we are right now, there's been a lot of difference in the games, and especially in terms of the quality between both these teams. We have seen a lot of mismatches in the first round, but then after round 1,
mismatches, more like, that is a screening process to figure out who are going to be the best team in Southeast Asia, because if you guys don't know, First Shot is a Southeast Asia exclusive tournament. It's a Southeast Asia exclusive online tournament, and this is going to be a really good platform for all of these new young bloods to come here and show up. And show
and
up
also
their
for the
old guys,
the old guys, to make sure that their name is going to be saved by by battling it out against these young guns, because that's all CS:GO is about, because you always have a set of good teams, and
CS:GO is just like a family drama where guy is just trying to overthrow his parents, having some Oedipial issues or something like that. Well, I guess that is something for another day, a debate for another day. But getting into this game right now, it is going to be between Executioners and Axylum. So this is going to be quite an interesting game, because Executioners, they have been active in the Southeast Asian scene a lot.
I mean, yes, they have been one of, I would say, one of the most dominant teams in Southeast Asia. Indonesian, by the way, both the teams are, and Executioners. We have some kind of... I really have heard about Executioners earlier as well, before, about a couple of years ago, when they had actually got an Indian player into their team, which happened to be the first time in a while. We actually saw an Indian talent making his way onto the SEA scene, who happened to be Ace, by the way. And ever since that, we have seen a lot of plays coming out there from Executioners. They have been getting some solid results coming into their way, and they are progressing in the ranks of the SEA, SEA teams and all of that. So I think there's a lot to watch from Team Executioners. While Axylum, I think they are kind of worthy of even trying to... I think this game is going to be really interesting.
If they have made all their way onto round number 4, I guess they do have some juice in their machines. So let's actually see how well they are going to be faring up against Executioners, because as you said, Executioners being that famous, like if you know that these guys, if you know these guys for their prowess in this game, then obviously these guys have something to show for it. And we are going to be getting into the knife round, and let's actually see how this is going to be turning out. And by the way, guys, this is going to be the map of Mirage.
I think this is going to be the first time we are going to stream about Mirage, because all till now we have only been seeing Cash Inferno and D2 especially, and
Train.
It's and Train as well. So yeah. So it's just about Overpass, which we haven't seen yet, and let's see how that's going to work out as the knife round is underway. The match between Executioners as well as Axylum, both teams from the Indonesian scene, and let's see who's got better.
Do you think what side will you pick if you actually won the knife round in Mirage? Because a lot of in a map like Dust 2 you don't really care, but in Mirage maybe you have some preferences. Do you care to share that with us?
Well, yes, in my point of view, I would probably start off with the T side because it's going to be really hard for the T side, even though in the first 2-3 rounds they will be having the momentum. Given that it's all about the SMGs and the pistol plays in the first 2-3 rounds. So if you are able to get those 2-3 rounds at the start, that's going to be some economy swinging in your way as well as the momentum. So you can probably build up to that because if you're going to look at the CT side, it's not really hard for you to go and rotate between sites and. I would really call this an even map, but then it's all about the momentum. So I would rather go on to the T side because I generally feel that the T side is going to be a bit harder in terms of executes and all of that because the first 3 to 4 rounds may go into your way, but then maybe after that it's just about who has a better strat and who has a better counter strat.
Yeah, once the buys started coming in, as you said, it is going to be about the strats, as we are going to be getting into round number 1 of a game of CSGO between Executioners and Asylum, and it looks like the CTs are gonna be playing it a little more aggressive. The T's, they are playing it a little bit faster. We see 3 people over at mid, and it looks like Anzo is gonna be able to spot out a player over at the nest right there. Anzo is gonna be pushing on to A from connectors. Maze is gonna be playing over from the...
Oh, he's actually going to get a couple of kills of the Adrian King with that USP. That's going to be 2 kills for him. And it's going to be a 5-on-2 at this point of time. Executioners are going to get this round as Adrian as well as his teammates are going to make sure.
Anyone.
Exactly.
That is some fast gameplay because you don't really see this much of a fast, intense gameplay in the first round. I would usually, think maybe the first 3 or 4 kills are going to be pretty fast-paced, but after that, it is going to be, a run for the money where the guy who is going to be left alone is going to be trying to delay that. But Asylum, they just, end up falling like flies.
But then this is going to be a little interesting at this point of time because we see the T's making a buy of grenades and they're going to throw it out at Nest, but no one's home out there, but it looks though as if all the money which had gone into buying nades went in vain, as we are going to see Anzo making his way on to connectors, and he's going to get taken down along with a couple of guys, and that's going to leave Terminate, the last guy alive for the T side, who is making his way across apps, and he's got the bomb as well, so that's not something which he needs to worry about if the bomb had been dropped. But it's going to be Ilib who's going to watch apartments right now, so he can probably have a look at it. He's going to spot him out. He's going to do some damage out there. 24 HP is what he's done, and that is going to be the kill for him. And that's going to be the second round coming in favor of Executioner. That's actually a neat round again. We see them just losing 1 person in the previous round. And
yeah, that was such a meme strat coming up from the T side. Having a lot of people distract them over at B short while the bomber actually tries to go over at B and tries to get that plant. But
I really felt that this was an all-in B. It was an all-in B setup because the way they had bought about 4 grenades out there and throwing it onto Nest is quite questionable because right onto the second round you never see someone peeking out there. You probably would be seeing a CT pushing out or maybe holding sights or watching mid from an angle, probably from B-shot or from connectors, because it's quite risky when you're going to go right out in the open in the Nest, and I think that is something which they really didn't think about at that point of time. I think the round which they had lost in the first place was really didn't make them think a little clear out there, while we are going to see the buys coming out there from the T side. We see the AKs coming out there. A couple of guys watching mid from T-spawn, and the bomb is still a T-spawn, while we see a couple of CTs making their way onto T-ramp. And let's see whether Anso can spot both of them. We see about a couple of them right out there, as Cud as well as Maze are gonna spot him out anytime soon, because Anzo has a clear idea that people are waiting out there, so he's kind of hesitating to get in front. As let's see where this is going to head on to, as the bomber as well as his teammates are making their way onto apartments, as Ilib as well as one more person from Executioners are at B. And can they actually break this defense? Because at this point of time this is a 4-on-2 in favor of Asylum, but this is about how they defend, and I think the rotations are going to be made pretty easier if the information is going to get given out. And it's going to be Penaf who's going to get one right onto the head of Lab, but it's going to be Famous who's going to get one as well. He's going to trade one. He might even get 2, and the bomb is being dropped out there, while Kumabred is going to trade him out, as Nani TF is making his way. I for a moment thought I read that wrong.
I mean, that is exactly how you read it, Nani being a Japanese word, a lot of people who like anime is going to be watching that. And Nani TF, he is going to actually try to go for the spray, and it seems like he is not going to be successful, but there is going to be Anzo who is going to be there to save the day for Axylum, and that was, you know, a really clean execution by the T side. The only thing which went wrong, in my opinion, was the flash, which actually blinded them as they were entering onto B side from Abs. But they still managed to, you know, make that work for them, even though the bomb was not planted. They still got that money because they won that round, and that is going to allow them to, you know, go ahead and buy a little bit more guns. As
and
we
see an AWP coming out there from the CT side. While we are going to see about a couple of UMPs as well as a Galil and an AK coming out there from the T side, but the scout is going to make sure that Adrenaline King is going to go down. That's going to be one down for the CT side as the T's are making their way on to mid. The connectors area has been smoked off as well as the nest, and this seems like they could probably be heading on to an A push right now because the bomb is still at the T base, as Maze is making his way right across connectors, and let's see whether he can spot out Terminate, because we see a couple of T's making their way onto connectors while Nani is waiting patiently to see if the CTs are going to make any kind of mistake.
And does get a kill onto Kumabred over at connectors, playing from the firebox area. And look at COD right here. He only has 12 HP, so he's just going to be hiding over there at firebox. But little do they know that Axylum are actually trying to move over at B. The bomb has been, you know, dropped over at the entrance of the apartments.
I mean, it's not dropped. We see Anzo just waiting out there patiently. Even I thought that the bomb was dropped because there was no motion coming out there from him. So let's actually see how it's going to work out. The smoke's coming out there from the T side, trying to make some kind of distraction. But then we see a guy right below Nani, and he's going to spot him, and he's going to go down. This was quite surprising. The molly coming out there, not really going on to his favor, but the bomb is going to get planted. And this is now a 3-on-2 in favor of the T side. They have made the plant as well. And it looks like Terminate has spotted the AWPer, but he is taking a lot of time to take him down, but he finally does that. But it's going to be Kud who is there, the last person alive for the CT side with 12 HP. Could he survive?
Oh, is that a goddamn pun tango, please? Like, I was not ready for that, and that, you know, completely threw me off guard. And you have to give props to Benef right there. You know, just playing a gun like Scout, it is kind of risky because unlike the AWP, it only kills with one shot if you do get that headshot. And he, you know, accurately managed to get that guy over connectors, and that eventually opened the full map for the side of Axylum. And the execute over at B was pretty good also. And, you know, they just got back the round. The scores are evened out right now, 2-2.
But the scores are even, but when you're going to look at the buys coming out there, the CTs are right now at an eco, even though they have about $2,000, $2,200 with them.
I guess they look forward to the future. They don't really want to play a reckless game of CSGO. While Axylum, they do have a bit of money over there, so I don't think they're going to be having any problem for, I think, the next round also, even if they manage to lose this. So this is going to be quite an interesting game to watch. We see Benaf, he's actually going to be sticking over with his scout, and I would not really recommend that, but I guess since the economy is not looking that good for Axylum, they're just going to be sticking with the guns they have. We do see a bunch of upgrades right there. 3 AKs, 1 M4A1S for Terminate, and the Scout for Benaf. And it looks like Anzo is going to be making... Okay,
that's going to be a free A coming out there for Axylum. They were stacking on to B, and looks as if Anzo has given the call. We see the T's retreating back to A, as well as the Bomber, as well as his teammates, while we see one person out there at market, just outside market, while the other one in the form of Terminate, who's just waiting at high mid to see if there are any rotations coming out there. But the time is running out. 35 seconds is what they have. Can they actually get a retake at this point of time? This seems to be a plan coming out there for the T side, as Maze is going to get Terminate, and that could probably be a gun coming out there for him, an M4A1S, a stock CT gun out there, getting back to its real owner. And we see Kud going down to Anzo.
Anzo catches him off as he tries to exit the market area, and we do see Executioners, they are in the bit of a back end over here. They are down by 2 people. Their guns are not looking really good. Maze is the only one who has the M4A1S, as Axylum, they seem to be doing the defense pretty good over there, and they are going to be claiming this round right now. The bomb is going to explode, and Executioners, they're not really even going to try to reclaim this round for themselves. They're just going to be stacking over at D base. So
well, I would say that was a good eco coming out there for Executioners, because they went all for none of them actually really expected this to be in their favor. They all of them actually stacked out.
They did save one gun though, so that is going to be working out in their favor.
Exactly. I mean, usually when you see a stack coming out there at B, maybe at B or A, you always see one person trying to spot out if in case they are going on to the other side, but that clearly was not the case, because they really thought that this should be a good option for them. All they wanted was about a couple of guns or something, and made sure that their economy is not going to get affected. Now we are going to see a full buy coming out there for Executioners,
Two
as
AUGs.
we see 2 AUGs, a UMP, an M4A1S as well as an M4A4, and let's see how that's going to work out. A smokes have been executed there by Asylum, as it's going to be Good, who is spamming it out there. He gets one, but he gets traded out there by Anzo as they are making their way onto A, and we actually see Famous making his way out there as the bomb is going to get planted in about a bit, as the bomb has been planted at this point of time. And Nani's going to spot one. He actually spots another one, but he goes down. Famous taking him down as he was rotating right from jungle onto CT. And this is going to be a 3-on-3 at this point of time. Asylum at the driver's seat, because we still have about 3 of them, almost with more than half of HP, while we are going to see a couple of guys out there who are quite damaged at this point of time, as Maze is going to get one, and 3-on-2 is the scoreline, right, is going to be the situation now, but all of a sudden it's going to be a 2. Oh my god, that was
a really good bait play coming out from Asylum. They just had one guy over at Palace just waiting patiently to see if anybody is going to be stupid enough to go ahead and go for the defuse. But sadly, I guess they really didn't know Terminate's position. And that was, you know, a little bit of a misplay coming in over here. As soon as Maze actually got that kill, he should not have gone for the jump over at Tetris, because once he did that, that actually revealed the position. That was a freebie for Asylum. Once they got that kill, things just got out of hand, and Executioners, they are going to be forced to buy their pistols, pistol and just 3 body armors for them. Not even a utility getting bought. Only Maze has a flash, so I don't really think the defense is going to be made. But Kumabred is going to be going down over at B shot, while Binaf is going to be getting the kill from chairs, and it looks like Asylum, they just run over Executioners, and they are going to be claiming one more round in their favor. And you see it right here, the you know, the scope guns are making a lot of difference over here, as
that's actually working out for them.
In a very tight spot, I feel like once they do go for the ADS, even if the place is going to be smoked off, just tapping over the general direction where their heads might just pop up, it's just resulting in a lot of kills for the side of Asylum right here.
But then this could probably be an even round right now, because even though when you're going to look at the economy, it's not pretty even, but the buys are somewhat similar at this point of time. We see about 3 AKs and AUG as well as an AUG for the B side, while about 2 AUGs and Pharmas as well as an M4A1S, along with the AUG, is going to try to neutral the T's right now. So let's see how this is going to work out. The smoke acting as a barrier between Banaf as well as Good, and let's see whether there can be some kind of a firefight heading in between both these guys, but it's going to be Good who is going to get tagged for a little bit coming out there from the AUG from Kumabred, and let's see whether they can take this kill and get the first blood drawn in this round, which happens to be the 8th round in this game with a 5-7 scoreline, right, 5-2 scoreline, which is favoring Asylum. Let's see whether they can try to bring this on and try to get more rounds to their advantage, because they have a good economy right now. They can afford to lose a round or 2, but I think the momentum is something which they will be looking after, because in the previous game as well, we saw a team leading about 3 or 4 rounds, and where they took a pause, and after that it was all going downhill for them, and that's something which they would not be looking forward to, I guess.
It was actually MYNZ.
MYNZ,
yeah.
Exactly.
And even though MYNZ did manage to win that game, that little bit of a pause coming up from their opponents actually, you know, allowed them to lose their momentum. But coming back into round number 8 over here, Asylum having the 3-round lead. Kumabred is going to be getting the first kill over at the A side from B short, as Banaf, he is going to be left alone over at the jungle area. Nani the fuck is going to try to get that kill on the guy who was in B short, and Anzo, he does
not have time. He's got to go and make the plant right now. Binaf is going to be the last person alive. He cannot do anything at this point of time. Probably just take a kill or something like that, because one thing is for sure, they have a good economy, so that would be a Byron coming out there. But then Kumabred was able to get that first kill onto the guy at A, but then he got traded off. The smoke coming in right at B shot, not really helping their favor, as they tried to go for an A execute, but it was quite sad that they couldn't make it from A mains as well as Palace, because that was how the setup was. We saw 3 guys coming out there at mid, while a couple of them were making their way from A mains as well as Palace. But let's see how it's going to pan out for them, because right now the rounds between both these guys, the lead is gonna get reduced to just 2. And let's see how
I
it's
like
gonna
how
work
you
out.
took over as soon as I dropped the bomb right there. Actually, that was a very honest mistake since I have been, scouting the internet for a long time right now, going from 4chan to Reddit. It usually, I don't really think about what I say when I look at those names, and I'm actually gonna put the blame onto Nani TF because that is a very misleading name. It's very easy to, forget what you're saying, as we are going to be getting into round number 9 right here. Asylum have that 2-round advantage over there, and Executioners, they do have the guns to work with, and since they did win the previous round, maybe they have stalled the momentum from Asylum, and we do see Asylum, they are going to be playing a little bit towards the T-spawn side, maybe trying to get over at apartments. We have not really seen a underpass strat coming out from Asylum, so I guess we can...
I feel there was no need for them to do that because...
that area.
Exactly, because it's actually working out for them whenever they are trying to go for an A or they are trying to go for a B. They have the rounds on board and they still have a 2-round lead. So I don't think there's any reason for them to, try to change the start or something like that, even if they want to bamboozle the CTs by coming out there from underpass and making their way and by taking the boost or something like that. Because if you're actually going to look at the CT side, they're not playing it really aggressive, so there's actually no need for Asylum to do that. And anything of that sort will be unnecessary at this point of time because they have the momentum in their way, and looks though as if the Ts are going to make their way on A, I suppose, because they are trying to time it out as soon as the 40-second mark came out, they are pushing their way onto A. We see 3 of them making their way onto A mains, as we are going to see about 3 CDs making their way as well. We see 1 at Palace, however, so if they are going to go for the plant or something like that, there can be a backstab coming out there from the guy who is at Palace, as Kuma Bread is trying to make his way onto B. But then no, they are making their way onto B. This is quite surprising. A fake coming out there from the guys at A, while we are going to see Ileb, who is quite aware that there are people coming out there. 10 seconds is all they have right now. They need to go and make the plant, and that's going to be 2 people down, and that is going to leave the bomber who is making his way out there, and he clearly cannot plant it. That's going to be 1 more round in the favor of Executioners. I really don't think that fake was quite necessary, because when you are going to put a lot of time like that out of no reason, you're just losing a lot of time already.
I think it would have just worked out well if they just went over at A and planted that bomb, because that would have actually allowed the guys who were in the apartments to, go for the backstab, as the CTs are going to be rotating over at A. But sadly, Asylum had different plans, and sadly it did not really work out in their favors, as we are going to be looking at Adrian King. The flash is going to be there. He is going to try to get a peek over at mid, but sadly it looks like Terminate is going to back off. Binaf is going to be taking a little bit of damage right now, so he needs to be careful. I think that is the wallbang spot coming out over at B, as Nani TF, he is going to be playing over at underpass right now, and I guess they have spotted other people over there. He is going to try to go for a peek. He knows that there's going to be a guy with the op on the other side of the underpass, so he is going to be playing it a little bit safer right now, as we are going to see Asylum. Binaf is going to be taking a little bit more damage right here. He is a guy in their team who actually has an AK, so he needs to be at the forefront of the situation, making sure that he gets as much damage done as possible. And it does not look like the execute coming over from Asylum is going to be taking a lot of time, because it looks like a standard mid to A strat coming from
Asylum.
Then
I really feel the buys coming out there from the T side is not really something which they should be proud about. But then we are back into the game, as Maze is going to get a couple of guys out there from connectors. He can probably get another as well, as Anzo is going to be right behind the 2 people he just slayed right now, and he is going to get a 3rd as well, and probably a 4th as well, because Nani is making his way right behind him. Can he be another one who's going to go down? But then that is not going to be the case, as Nani is going to get down Maze, and Binaf is going to go down, leaving Nani as the only person surviving from the T side. He is going to get spotted out there by Kud, and Kud is going to make him pay. That's going to be 1 round. A round
and
which
the score is just even right now.
Exactly, that's going to be 3 rounds in their favor in a row, that especially, and
the T's don't have a lot of money to go for a full buy.
they can actually go for a buy this time, because if you're going to look at the last time, they went for pistols as well as armor, while they had more than at least about $2,500 for them to go for a buy this round. So I think this should be an easy buy coming out there for the for the T side, and whether or not they are going to win this or they are going to lose this. This is just
that
about
is going to be
time.
determined by the skill level, as we do see Nani TF. He is going to be getting that first kill over at the A site right here. He is going to be keeping his eye onto jungle, and the crosshair is just going to be flicking onto his head, and we do see Adrian King with that AWP over at CT right here. He's going to be playing from the booth, but no, sadly Kumabred is going to be able to get that kill, and that is going to be 3 people down for the side of Executioners, as iLab and Maes are going to be the only people left, left to go for the defuse, and they have to be careful. It looks like Axalum, they're just going to be stacking over at the ramp area. We do see one guy playing for Tetris. He is going to be spotting out by Maze, but no, he is going to go down, as Kumabred playing over from T-ramp is going to be there to give him some backup and get that kill. And that is going to be one more round going the side of Axilum.
I mean, that was a good round coming out there. I think the reason why they were able to get that is probably because of the buy coming in. And I was actually questioning the strat of the previous round, where they had money to go for the buy, but then they still went for pistols as well as armor. And I think this is the reason why they were able to do that. And I'm really speechless.
It's like creating a cushion right behind you, making sure that even if you do mistakes, you're not really going to be affected a lot by that. And
so I really feel that they have been thinking about the future, like you just said, probably about, not just about this round, but yeah, exactly, about a round or two ahead or something like that, because that's how they are playing it at the moment, as we are going to see the bomb still at base, as I think they are trying to get the mid control. We see a couple of guys coming out there from the T side making their way on a mid, while we are going to see one making his way up across the TV room. And the people at A just waiting for the push coming out there from CTs. They're just making sure that if in case Executioners are trying to make some mistake by trying to push it out, they could probably even give something back to them as well. So that's probably the way they are playing. They are wasting some time at this point of time.
Yeah, non-ETF, he is actually making a lot of noise over at the TV room area. So I guess, the CTs are maybe thinking that Executioners are trying to bait out the B to actually, rotate around or something like that. We do see the pop flash coming in, and that is going to be an easy kill. No, he's only going to be able to get one. That could have actually gone a lot better right here. Binav, though, he needs to be careful. The Molotov is going to be blocking his way, but he just jumps over it. And it looks
but
like
it's going to be the bomber who's going to go down, and Anzo is going to take it, and he is going to try to plant the bomb, and which he does with about just 20 seconds, which was on the clock, and they were finally able to make the plant even though the bomber was down. We see all the 3 people from the CT side making their way on the market, and can they actually clutch this out? I mean, it's not actually a clutch, but then can they actually get the retake? Because this is quite surprising, because usually you see a couple of guys coming out there from the other side, but it's going to be Anzo who's going to get a couple of them, and Terminate is going to make sure that they are getting this round. They are going to actually, make sure that only one person was going to go down at that firefight, and they were able to get that. And like you said, it was a good positioning coming out there from Terminate, as he made sure that he could get those 2 kills out there. You saw the first one coming out there, and Terminate getting the other one. And I thought for a moment that he could get all the fight to themselves, because it was actually
it was actually a 3K for Terminate right there, getting that first guy over at B short. And I like the fact that he really did not push onto site as soon as the bomb was planted, because the position which he had. But by the way, we are going to be getting over at the palace area, and it looks like it is going to be a slaughter, as Binav is going to be getting 2 people from the side of Executioners, and he does go down in the end though, so that is going to be Maze with that AK. And as Nani TF, he is going to try to go for a push over.
Probably we can see another gun coming in their favor as well, as it's going to be Ilab who's going to get one, but then that's not really going to help them out, as we see all the CTs, both the CTs making their way onto market, and that's going to be Kud who's going to get one as well. And this is going to leave us with a 2-on-2 at this point of time, while we are going to see them retreating, and this could probably go into an A push right now, as Anzo as well as his teammate are making their way on a connectors, probably going and plotting it out for a plant. But then we actually see the CTs making their way onto their spawn, and so if there is going to be a plant at this point of time, and we see the Gunsmoke coming out there, so they pretty much know and they have set their priorities, and that is going to be the bomber who's going to go down not before planting the bomb. And this could probably be a round for the CTs, but then both the people are going to line up at this point of time, and Kud is going to make sure that Maze, who was not able to get Anzo at that point of time, is going to go down, and that is actually a good round coming out there from Execution. As mind you, that was also a pistol round, so to clutch it from there is something which is pretty good, and that is going to add something for them in the coming rounds as well. We still have about 2 or 3 rounds coming in this half, and I think this is going to add a lot of money for them, and also a lot of momentum swinging to their way as well. That was a good play coming out there from Island, but the way they had actually rotated on to A side was pretty impeccable. They just made sure that you know, they were outnumbered at the last minute, and it was quite unfortunate that they weren't able to take the planter. And now it's actually supposed to be a role reversal, I guess, right now, as the T's are making their way onto A with Deagles. All the 5 of them have Deagles and armor.
But look at their economy. It's already looking a little bit good for Asylum. So even if they are going to be losing this round, we can expect a full buy in the next round.
I mean, that is the reason why they went for the Deagle right now, because if you're going to look at if you're actually going to look at the next round, that is going to be the last round of the first half. So I feel like this is something which could probably go in their favor, because they really didn't want to take any risk at this round, because even if they are going to buy it fully,
and they do have the, you know, round advantage, having 1 score ahead of Executioners. So I'm really not going to be surprised if Asylum are just trying to look for a couple of frags right here, since, you know, the Deagle's getting brought out right now, and only with body armor, as we are going to be seeing Ilum. He's going to be taking a lot of damage, 1 HP for him, as he is going to be playing it a little bit safer right now. He is going to be playing for a little bit more space. As Nani DF, he is going to be able to spot out a guy over at Market. He's going to have a really tight angle over at B side, and it looks like he might be able to get the guy over at bench, and yes, he will be able to do that, but not before Famous and Agent King are going to be able to get those kills on the guy over at Apartments. So this is going to be quite a stop of momentum, and the scoreboards are going to be even right now, and that is going to be a full buy round for the T side, and this is going to be a matter of skills, as you know, both of these guys don't really have any excuse to fail, because they all have their equipment, they have their guns, they have their utilities, and Executioners, they have that AWP, so they need to be a little bit more cautious. Asylum, that is.
And it looks like they have something else in mind at this point of time, the T side, and it's going to be Adrian King who's going to get the first frag onto Banaf, as I was saying, as Kumabred is going to make his way out there, but that's going to be another kill coming out there from Adrian King, but Nani as well as Anzo are going to make sure that Kud and Adrian King are going to go down, which is going to leave A free at this point of time. We see a guy at jungle as well as a guy at stairs, while the bomber is making the guy who is going to pick the bomb is trying to go for the plant, but then there's nobody at site at this point of time for the CT side, so they are wasting a lot of time. But it's going to be Anzo who's going to come, and there is going to be a guy at CT who happens to be the last guy alive for their team, and let's see how this is going to work out, as the bomber is going to retreat himself onto A mains, and we actually see another person making his way on a jungle. So let's see whether they can probably, you know, try to clutch this out. Can Ilub actually clutch something out of this, because both of these teams want to end this half in a good note, because that's going to bring them a lot of morale and momentum going their way into the second half. But looks though as if they're wasting some time out here. 50 seconds is all that remains, but then looks like Asylum are going to go for a B, because I think Ilub as well as Anzo
I think Ilub is going to die right now, as Anzo is keeping a really tight angle right here.
He has a really good angle, but if it's going to be Ilub who's going to pre-fire at this point of time, I think that is not going to happen, as that is going to be a round for Asylum, and they are going to end this with a good note. Just about 1 round between both these teams, as Asylum finished this half at 8-7.
I guess Asylum are giving Executioners a run for their money in this map right now, because, you know, starting over at this game, both of us were actually, you know, predicting that Executioners were going to have the upper hand. But looking at this half right now, you see that Asylum, they're not really someone you can trifle with. They are going to be strong. They have not... Their progress over at this tournament is not something to be taken lightly, and
when you're going to actually look at the situation in this tournament, we are already at round 4, and we right now have just the top teams remaining, and the reason why they have got till now is because it's pretty obvious. They have been playing some good CSGO right from the start of the tournament, so that's something which we have been looking forward to, and that is something which Asylum are displaying at this point of time. They're actually giving Executioners a run for the money, just like how you said. So that's going to be 1 round as an advantage for them, as we are heading into the first round of the second half. Let's see how the pistol round is going to work out for both these teams, as we are going to see the CTs making about four of them going for armors, and we see 1 of them going for a smoke as well as a diffuse kit. While on the T side, we see all of them making their way out there, 4 of them having armor, while 1 of them is going to have
One
a couple
smoke
of
or two
flashes
flashes.
and a smoke as well. So looks like they should be executing a B right now, because that's something apt of having about 2 flashes and a smoke, because that's going to give you a lot of distraction. The flash coming out there, and I mean the smoke coming out there is going to block the guys at market, as well as the pop flashes which are going to come out right now, as they are having their they have it set. They just want to go for the plant, and likewise they are making their way, but then the CTs are lining up at the market area, and this is going to be really surprising, because we see about 3 of them making their way on the markets, and we actually see a couple of Ts also guarding the entrance of market. So this could be some firefight which we have been waiting for.
This is going to be carnage right here, as a lot of people are going to be lining up, and could actually gets 2 kills in a row over at market, and he might be able to go for a third, and he does, as Kud is going to be there with the 3K, as Adrian King, he is going to be finishing up this round as he gets the kill onto Benaf, and
by the way, all those kills were headshots right onto the head, all the 5 of them going for, they just took them for a ride, I think, the T side. As you could see, Kurd was able to get those 2 kills pretty well, and just look at that, he was able to finish that as well. All of them landing headshots onto their opponents, and that is going to be 1 round there for them as well. So it's all even Steven right now, but then the momentum as well as the economy is probably going to be in the favor of executioners, given that they just won the pistol round. They are going for a couple of AKs, and Galils are also there in the mix along with the UMP, while we are going to see Asylum making an eco right now, nothing bot out here. So they're making the push out there, while though this is what I was telling you about. When you're going to stack,
stacking at B right there, Axalum, as you said, and
we still have one person who is pushing out there from Palace, making sure that there aren't any backstabs or something like that. As we are going to see Adren King and his teammates making their way on a mid. They are going to smoke off connectors probably to see if they are going to go on for a B, and looks like they are. So they are just playing them by the book at this point of time. We see all the 4. We actually see the CTs move away from the stack, and that is going to really cost them at this point of time, because they were right onto the position. But then now they have to go and make sure that the bomb is not going to get planted. But then the bomb has been planted, and it's going to be a Herculean task for them, as this is now a 2-on-4 against the CT side. They need to go and get the defuse as well. They don't have a defuse kit. All they can do right now is try to get some picks, or maybe just go for the exits, because that's something which is something they should be doing right now. But then they are going to leave a free side out there, as no one's there at exactly the side. But then we see a guy at bench, and also a couple of guys out there, and it's going to be executioners who are going to get that, as Good is going to get the last kill onto Anzo. They really played it well. The CTs were, at the start of the round, all of them except for one guy went on to B, and if they had just stayed that way, they could have probably won that round. Look at that. He had no idea what was coming for him, as Maze was making that backstab. Looks like the guy who was making the backstab from the CT side was not really able to spot out the guy out there.
And this is looking to be quite dire over for Asylum, but right now though they do have their buys. We see 3 AUGs, 1 FAMAS and 1 M4A4. Not a lot of utilities though, so I'm not gonna be putting my money on them. As of now, we'll only be able to see who's going to be winning this once the round progresses further. As we do see Anzo, he's going to be left alone over near Firebox, as he's going to be getting killed by Kud right there. The headshot from the AK is going to be doing magical wonders right now. And Terminate, he is going to be taking a little bit of damage over with the Molotov. So they are going to be trapped over the connectors. And Executioners, they have not lost a person. And we see Maze, he's going to be able to get the kill onto Terminate. And Kumabred is also going to go down. Maze is just making this work, man. And this is just getting to be a little depressing for Asylum. Asylum are going to be retreating back over to B side, and it looks like they will be able to get a kill onto Maze right there. So that is going to be
that will probably be just one more round for Executioners, because they're actually bringing it back in the second half. And I think even though they were not able to get, even though Asylum were not able to get the first round out there, they seem to be losing it from this point, because even though they are at the sides, they are holding the right strats, they're not able to defend the bomb side. And that is something
which... It's just the momentum which Executioners are playing with. When they are on the T side, you see how aggressive they play, and it looks like Asylum, they really don't have an answer for that. As you saw, it was just around 20 seconds into the round. You saw Anzo actually getting killed over near Firebox at A. It looked like he did not have any kind of backup, and that really did not work out in their favor, as we are going to be seeing a B setup kind of coming out from Executioners. We see a lot of flashes getting thrown. drone. So that might, hint at a B rush for the side of Asylum.
Now they are trying to fake it out. Just look at that. We see all the 4 people along with the bomber making their way on a B shot as well as mid. But then I think Binaf has a really good angle out here. He can probably get all of them. But then it's going to be Adrian King who's going to get that pre-fire right onto Binaf's head. And he just saw that coming. And we see all the 4 people just retreating back out there to T-base. And let's actually see what they have in store, because we still see all the 3 people at B in terms of the CTs not even moving a muscle, while we are going to see one person out there, the solo guy out there at A, just trying to guard the site, as we are going to see Maze who's going to get about a couple of kills out there. That's going to leave just one person alive at B for Team Asylum, and he's going to go down as well, and that could be another bomb plant coming in favor of Executioners, as Asylum's player Nani is making his way on to A or probably even Palace to try to save this, because this is something which is not really working their way, and Asylum really need to think about something else at this point of time, because all they are doing is just losing those rounds in those crucial moments. Because when you're going to look at the sides, they are trying to hold it out really well. The strats are coming out well. They are making sure that about 3 of them are watching B, but even after that, they are able to, Executioners are easily able to predict that, and they're able to breach the defense pretty easily, and I think Asylum cannot do anything at this point of time.
I feel like Asylum are not playing at the same pace that Executioners are, because if you do see Executioners play, the guy who actually played from apartments, he just started spamming those flashes and smoke, and that eventually got into the Executioners' heads, and they just stacked up together, and it looked like they were in a good position.
It was a good play coming out there from Executioners, because what I felt from that kind of move was that the flashes coming out there were purely a distraction for the CT side to look at apartments, while we saw the push coming out there from the T side, making their way on a B shot, killing the first guy who was on the boost, and that is something which is quite commendable, as the smokes are coming out there. They are going to go on B, while we are going to see the T's making their way on to T mains as well as Palace, and let's see how it's going to pan out for them. The smoke coming out there not really helping their favor. It is kind of a one-way smoke, so even if the T's are trying to come out there towards the ramp, they can probably even get killed out here, as Anzo is going to echo my words out here, as he's going to get down good, as that's going to be a 5-on-4 in favor of Asylum, as they are trying to penetrate this defense, and the bomb is going to go down as well, but Adrian King is going to make sure that he is going to get a couple of kills out here. Nani is going to go down as well. Nani is not going to go down. It was his teammate who just went down right out at A, as that is going to leave a free A side coming out there. But then Executioners are still, they're still perturbed that they might be thinking that there is a guy out there, but then they still have the flashes out there as well as the nades coming out there for the T side, and let's see how they are going to use it to their advantage. One sad part is that they really don't have a smoke, so even if they want to plant the bomb, it's going to be really hard, because they are holding their angles. Even though there isn't anyone out there from the connector side, there is a guy from CT side who could probably go on a jungle if they are going to go for the plant, and that is going to really sandwich Executioners should they go for a plant right now. But then we see that a couple of guys are making their way from CT side, as both of them are going to opt at this point in time, but the flash is going to blind him out, and he is going to make most of that flash, as Famous is going to get one, and we see both the CTs making their way on to CT spawn and trying to go for and trying to actually locate Famous right now, as they are trying to bait him out. Probably a diffuse or a fake could come out. The smoke coming out there at the wrong time is not going to help their case, as he needs to get outside the smoke to go for the diffuse, and it's going to be Adrian King who's going to get that double out there. What a play coming out there from Executioners. They were about 2-on-3 at that point of time, and they made sure that they won that round. They made the plant, and they took them all out without losing a single person in that situation, and that is why I was telling you that Executioners have this game right onto their palms, and I think if they are going to go on this way, they can probably head away with this.
And that was actually quite a good play, as you said, from Executioners. They did not have any smoke, and I actually like the fact that they made a gamble. Actually, they did not know if the remaining 2 players, if there was just only 1 player at CT or if there were 2, because if there was just 1, that flash would have only been able to get 1 kill, and they would not have known the location of the other 2 players. But sadly, there was 2 players, and that eventually gave them that information, making sure that okay, there is going to be 1 guy at CT, so that is where you need to focus on, and that is exactly what Executioners did.
And meanwhile, that's going to leave Asylum on to pistols at this point of time. We see a we see about a couple of them without any armor. They have got fatigues, while the guys with the armors have gone fatigues, as well as one of them has gone for 5-7. And let's see how that's going to work out for them as they are making their way on to B right now. The bomber as well as one more guy are making their way, which happens to be good. They are making their way on a B. The molly coming out there is going to stop them. And
that was their own molly, by the way. So
it's exactly that's something which they really didn't. It really didn't go onto that equation. As we are going to see Adrian King with another double coming out there, as he is planning to clear out the site, and Famous is going to make sure that B side is going to be cleared, and it's going to be Terminate who's going to get one as well. And we are going to see the CTs who are crumbling under pressure at this point of time, and this happens to be a pistol round for them as well. But then Terminate has got the AK which he had got from the guy who was at shot, and let's see how that's going to work out for them, as this is going to be a 3-on-2 and make that a 3-on-1, as iLove is going to get one as well. So the CT side have been left with no other option to save it. Probably he could go for exits, but then that's not really going to help him out. But probably he can go on for exits as well.
Yeah, he can get the exit onto the
guy. They have the money at this point of time, but then they have been losing about 5 rounds in a row, and make that 6 because they are losing the plot, I would say, right from the second half. They haven't won a single round out there right from the pistol round. And just look at that. Adrian King was able to get that one tap onto Kuma Bread as well as the other guy. He just made sure that he literally did not have any idea where he got shot from, which was leaving Kuma Bread with no option to just show his back onto Adrian King while he took it. And I don't know how this is going to pan out for the CT side, because even though they are onto a buy round right now, we see an op coming out there in the form of Terminate watching A mains, and let's see whether Adrian King as well as Terminate can come up with a 5-5 right now. But then he was just about to go down, as we saw the guy from A mains trying to take him out, as the flash literally blinding him made sure that he was living to fight another day, I would say, as we are going to see about a couple of M4s, one M4A4 as well as an A1S coming out there for the CT side, along with an AUG as well as a couple of ops. This is quite surprising, because this is actually the first time, if I suppose, that we are going to see a dual op setup coming out there for the CT side, as we are going to see Adrian King trying to score out the guy who was right outside A mains, and he still is outside A mains, so I don't think he has an idea about that. Oh, but the no scope coming out there is going to make sure that Anzo is going to make himself pay for that mistake. He was just right close to them. Probably he could have pre-fired, and maybe I think he just wanted to see how many people are making their way, and that is going to be a plan coming in favor of the B side, as Benaf as well as another teammate are making their way out there. Both of the CTs who are coming out there from the CT side can be picked upon by Adrian King, because he's got a really good angle. If they are going to go from tri-boxes, they are going to go down, and that's going to be one more for him. Can that be a 2 right now? But I really don't think that is going to be the case, as they want to play time, as we see a guy coming out there right below stairs, and the molly is actually going to make sure that one of the person from Execution is not going to make his way from A mains, and that is Maze who is going to spot him, but he goes down as well, and it's now going to be a 1-on-1, and I think it is going to be a save coming out there from Kuma Bread, as he's making his way outside, as he was just about 14 HP, and there's no point of him going and trying to get that fight, because all they want in the next round is at least some kind of gun, because they really can't go for an op or something like that, except for 1 or 2 guys, and their economy is pretty screwed up at this point of time, and all they need is just about a round or 2, because Adrian King made sure that
amazing little no-scope. Like, he predicted, okay, there is going to be one guy right outside of E-Ramp, and you have to give credit where it's due. Adrian played that extremely well, even though the Molotov, delayed his movement over onto A side. As soon as, the bomb was getting defused or something, he just went for the peak, even though he was not able to get that kill. That was a round for the side of Executioners, and we see Nani TF, he is going to be peeking over onto the apartments area. He knows that people might be pushing over at TV room, because he did see a bunch of flashes coming on his way, and we see Nani TF, he is going to be playing over at B alone, kind of, because Kuma Bread is going to keep his eyes over at B short.
And we see Executioners playing a lot of time at this point of time, making the CD side, who happen to be Exilum, to wonder where they are going, because I think that is something which they have been playing around ever since the second half.
They're making them nervous.
They're making them nervous, and they are making them guess where they'll be going, because that's something which Executioners have been doing right from the start of the second half. And let's see whether they can actually get this on to a 16-8 scoreline, because the way they are going, about right now, they're able to make sure that whatever they do is working in their favor. It's like anything they touch is turning on to gold at this point of time in this match, at least I would say, as Kud is going to get the first kill. Adrian King manages to tag him for a lot of damage, as he is going to be the first person to go down in the side of the CTs. As Benaf is making his way through the smoke, he's going to get one, as Anzo was able to get the other one, who was Maze, by the way. And we see about the CTs making their way onto A. They are going to take some A control at this point of time, but then it's going to be Anzo as well as Kuba Bread who are going to get a couple of kills out right now, and that is going to leave iLab as the last person alive. He's got the bomb, however, so he can probably try to make a play for himself. Can Asylum actually get this first round for them in the second half? And I think that should likely be the case, as the bomb is with iLab and he's got to make the plant, and I think he's not doing that at this point of time because he pretty much knows that he needs to go and get he actually has a lot of money. The team actually have a lot of money for themselves, so they can probably buy it out in the next round. So that's,
I felt like he could have at least, you know, just stayed over at Tetris, because nobody would think someone would be hiding at Tetris. Maybe they would have thought iLab was rotating over at B, trying to look for the exit, so he could have at least saved that gun. But I guess since their economy is so good...
I mean, not just that, I really think that since the CTs had no idea where the bomb was there, because they haven't seen it dropped, and I think that is something which they were looking forward to, and that finally got them the first round of the second half.
And we are going to be getting into this round right here, round number 24. A 5-round lead for Executioners. If they are going to be winning this round, they are going to be getting into match point, and as Asylum are going to be having a much tougher time right now, as Nani TF, he is, as usual, is going to be playing over at B with that AUG. Adrian King, look at him. He is trying to look for one of those, you know, meme kills on any of these guys who's going to be defending onto B side, but sadly he will not be able to do any of that other than giving Asylum a lot of information that there is going to be an AWP over near the B side. But sadly, Adrian King, he is just playing them. He's just going to be retreating over onto T base, and they seem to be going for an A execute. It seems like all the players from Executioners, they are going to be stacking up over at T ramp right there.
Looks like they're going for the smokes for A push right now, because we see them lined up for that, and let's see how it's going to work out, as we are going to see a person throwing out the molly out there from Palace, and that is going to be Anzo who's going to get that first kill. The smoke's coming out there from the T side is going to make sure that their job is going to be easy, but then it's going to be Kuba Bread who's going to get a couple of them, and that is going to be the bomb which is going to get dropped right now, and all of a sudden it's going to be 2-on-4 in favor of Asylum. Are they actually pushing it to their way? And let's see whether they can probably even get this and get another round for themselves, because that is something which they will be needing, as the molly is not really going to do any kind of damage for the guys who are at A side. But the most important thing is that the bomb has been dropped, and the molly is going to delay the Oppo to get inside A mains, as Kuma Bread is going to get another kill out there for him in this round. That's going to be a 3 kill there in this round for him, and that's going to bring about another round for Asylum, their second round in a row, and their second round in the second half as well. So
do you think the comeback is real, Tango? Because I feel like right now, the way that Executioners are playing, it seems like they're responding quite a little bit well to...
Asylum, you mean?
Yeah, Asylum. Like, they're just, you know, they're responding really good to all of these, you know, bait plays coming out from the side of Executioners. And it looks like Executioners are going to be taking a tactical pause. Not really going to be surprised, because they only need 1 round to get into match point, and they have lost 2 rounds in a row.
I mean, so I feel they still have it. I think Execution has still got this to get into their favor, because all they need is about just 2 rounds. A proper execute out at B or A could do the job, or maybe a backstab or a mid control coming out there could do the job.
You just stated out every strat that you can play in this map to,
exactly,
you know,
that's how the map is. You can play it however you want, and just about one of these strats would be doing out pretty well for them. That's what I intend to say, and that's what
I was you know, on Executioner's shoes, I would just go for the Rush B Suka Blade strat, but I guess that is not going to be the case, as we do see a lot of people from the side of Executioners. They are going to be stacking over at mid, and it looks like they are going to be able to get that first kill onto Benaf over at the nest area. Kuma Bread is going to be keeping a keen eye over at B short, not letting anybody pass over from the mid area, but it does not look like Executioners have that in their mind. They might be going through TV room. They're just going to be buying for time right now. They still have ample amounts of time time to, you know, just bait Axylum to make a very bad move, you know, rotate to the wrong side or something like that, as we do see one guy is going to still be in Palace for Executioners.
But then it looks like this is going to be a mid push coming out there from Executioners, something which I was predicting for this round, because it wasn't really clearly working out the A pushes or the B apartment rushes, but then we are going to see Terminate who's going to get one, is going to be Maze who's going to get one as well, so iLove is going to get one, and Dren King is going to make sure he's going to get paid as well, so that's going to leave the only guy out there at A, and Adren King could probably finish this off and get them to match point at this point of time, as Anzo is going to be the last person surviving from Asylum.
Look at the bait. Look at the bait that Adren King is doing. He knows that there is going to be one guy at Tetris, and it looks like Executioners, they're not done yet. They're just trying to hunt Anzo down, and Anzo is just running for his dear life because things are not looking good for him. He has an AK. He can actually save this because that is going to be a free gun for him, but sadly, you know, he is going to go down.
You see, there's no way that he could have saved that gun, because when you're going to look at the setup they had, they made sure that there is a guy who was making his way from mid to T-base, so there's no point in him saving that because they still had about 4 people alive, so all they wanted to do was make sure that they were hunting him down. As you can see, Anzo has no money to even go for a pistol. All he could probably go for... Oh, he just got it dropped out there by his friend, and that's something which was not the case out here, as we are going to see the full buy coming out there. And I'm quite surprised how they got a full buy at this point in time, because this is going to be the round that matters to the CT side, and we are going to see Kud who's going to get one, but then we still have about a couple of more people out there at B. We see Kumabred with the AWP, as well as a guy at Market, and can they actually penetrate this defense from the CT side? And it's going to be Maze who's going to get one as well. The Molly is going to delay some time out there for the CT side to make the rotation, and this is going to be a 5-on-2 right now, and Adren King is going to get one, and it's all about Benaf and Anzo. Can they actually clutch it down? We saw a lot of clutches coming out there in the side of Exilum as well as Executioners, but then this is going to be a pressure situation for both these teams. Can they actually get this? And it's just going to be 10 HP for Kud, and Maze is going to get one. The last person who happens to be the AWP is going to get one kill out there, but then it's going to be Adren King who gets the shot out there, and that is going to be a 16-10 for Executioners. What a game this has been.
I liked how the last round went. Like Executioners, before this, they were just playing for time. Before this, they were just playing very slowly, just trying to, you know, bait out wrong rotation from the CT side. But at the point where they knew, okay, we're just gonna rush, we're just gonna bamboozle them.
They did not rush in the last 2 rounds. What they did was pretty simple. All they did was they had a guy making his way onto A, trying to bait it out and try to fake it out, while we saw the mid push coming out there from the T side. That really made them sure that there weren't any T side players. I mean, the CT side players watching mid. We saw about 3 of them making their way on a B, and we saw a couple of them making their way on A, which Adren King was able to get that in the round previous, and that is some ballsy play coming out there from them as well.
Executioners actually got 7 rounds in a row. 7 rounds in a row as soon as the second half started. Even though they were starting the second half in the back foot, it felt like they were actually using the first half to read the minds of Executioners, because the way they were playing, it felt like Executioners, they knew exactly what was going to be happening, and it was just I don't know. It just
I really felt that they were able to read. They were able to read Exilum by a book. I would say, like a book. I would say in the second half, because the way they have been playing and the way they have been trying to bait them out was pretty impeccable. And the strats were working out, except for I think the 4th last round or something like that, where they lost about a couple of rounds in a row.
They lost 2 rounds
and then they had taken a timeout and broke the momentum, and they made sure that they were doing their their usual strat of trying to get the mid control and going on to B.
I think we have to give the MVP to Adren King.
Oh yes, he really opted out pretty well, and he was able to bait it out in the last 2 rounds, and when it was going a little tough for them in the last few rounds, he made sure that they were able to get this. He made sure that they were able to go home out there pretty earlier. 16-12 is
especially the one where they needed to get that match point. You saw Adren King. Usually you see Adren King actually going for an aggressive op, where he usually plays mid, or he's gonna be pushing with his teammates at a side or something. But no, this time he was actually trying to go for the backstab with an AWP, and he got that. He got that kill onto Kumabred, and that just, shocked Exilum a lot, that they could not really make any rotation, because they knew if they are going to be crossing over to the jungle area, they're going to get shot out by Adren King, who was going to be playing from Palace. And that
was a really good game. I would just have to say that again and again and again, because that's how the quality of this was, because this is is round 4, and we are going to just see the best of the teams who are alive in this tournament. And speaking about the best of the teams, we still have one more match coming up there today, and we will actually get to you after the highlights, which we will be providing to you right now, as you can have a look at that. And after a short commercial break, we will be back with game number 2 for today, and we'll see you on the other side, folks.
My friend, I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what? Breakthrough. friend, I am tired of this talk, AK man. But it still does the job though, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to Playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zolbear, also known as Siddharth Prashant, and we are going to be seeing a second game. And joining me once more is going to be...
This is Stangenberg, also known as Sriram Vishal, and we are here for the second game of today's stream of round 4 for first shot CSGO tournament hosted by Playtonia for a whopping prize pool of $2,400.
And this is going to be quite an amazing game because, as we saw in the previous game, the quality of gameplay has been consistently increasing as the rounds go by. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is round number 4, so you can expect to see a lot of competitive plays, a lot of high tier strats coming up from all of these teams.
And not just that, we might even see some underdogs emerging victorious, which clearly was not the case in the previous game. And that previous game was between Executioners as well as Asylum, where we actually saw a really good first half, while there was just a 1-round difference between both these teams, while Asylum were actually leading that first half. But then when you actually saw the second half, it wasn't the case, as they just managed to win about just 2 rounds in the second half, and that was quite sad coming out there. But they did give a run for the money for Executioners, and I think that is the quality.
Just during the first half, I felt like I am going to be echoing a few of the words which I did say before the advertisement, but it felt like Executioners, they were trying to read what Asylum had in store. Like, they were trying to match the pace which Asylum had during the first half, and once they figured that out, it was just full on steamrolling over them. And
I mean, more than that, I really felt that their executions in the T side were pretty impeccable, because the strategies and their control over whatever side they wanted to go on for was pretty good. And that's something which was clearly lacking when you were looking at Asylum doing the same thing when they were on the T side. And I think that was the difference between both these teams, and that is how quality teams keep playing.
That was a make or break point where they eventually lost the game over there for Asylum. And congratulations, Executioners. You have proceeded to
the next round, and
this is going to be...
And we will actually see another team which will be going on to the next round in this game. And speaking about this game, this is going to be between Black Angle and Sedna, 2 of the teams which we will be watching right now. And surprisingly, this is going to be Inferno, where we are going to see this match, as...
this is the second time Inferno is actually going to be coming up in our stream. So this is going to be quite interesting. I believe, Inferno back then when it first came into this stream, it was a very, welcome sight, because before that it was usually just Cash and Train. And seeing Inferno once more, it does feel a lot better, because...
And it feels refreshing because it's
a vibrant map.
Exactly. I mean,
it's more colorful. Cash is just like grey, green, grey, and a lot of blood. Yeah,
you know what? You should probably, change your settings on your monitor or something like that, because I really love Cash. I love playing on that, because it's not about the...
It's a simple map.
It's pretty simple, and it's pretty easy for you to go for the rotations and all of that, which clearly is not going to be as easy as how you are going to see in Inferno, because this is a map where the T side have to get a lot of momentum if they want to get those rounds on board, and this is going to be a really good contest, if I might say so, because this is going to be the round number 4 out here in this tournament. So the amount of quality which both these teams will be harnessing is something which we have seen in the previous game as well. Even though they did lose that game, they gave a tough fight for their opponents, and I think that could be the same case out here. If not, it goes on for an overtime or something, because we saw an overtime last in round number 3, and that is something which...
that was the only overtime which we have seen in this tournament in our stream. So maybe, let's have our fingers crossed, make sure that maybe it's not hoping for much, please.
But you know, I want to end this day on a high, and I think that is something which would treat us as well as the viewers right now. And for the people who just joined us, this is the first Shot CSGO tournament, and we are live with the second game of today between the Black Angle as well as Sedna, and we are going to be live with the knife round pretty soon, as there has been some kind of a tech pause coming out there for the teams, probably some kind of issues coming out there from one of their players or something like that, and that is why we have been waiting out here. As if you want your friends, or if you want to make some predictions, and this is going to be the time, you just get down to the comment section and try to tag your friends and make sure you are going to predict which team is going to win. As what do you think? What are you going to predict? I am really
I don't
clueless
know
about
a lot about who's going to be winning this, because this is the first time we're going to be seeing them on the stream right now, Black Angle versus Sedna. But if you're asking me what side I would pick, I would most probably pick the CD side if I won the toss. And we
playing
are
it safe, huh?
Yeah, like I guess, you know, Inferno is not a map like Train where it doesn't favor a side as much, because if you saw the match which did happen in the Train map, you saw a lot of them were, you know, CT biased, and in this one I feel
this is a beautiful setup coming out there from the CD side, as Jupiter's going to get one and he's going to get another as well. What a play coming out there from the Black Angle, as they managed to bait out Sedna into the trap that was set up for them. And let's see how they are going to set it out, as the Black Angle are going to just stay out there, as they are going to start as the CD side.
I guess even they want to play it safe, and this is looking to be really good. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and, you know, just like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is going to be quite an amazing game of CSGO, and we do have a lot more of those coming for you guys. So, you know, hit the bell icon so you guys know when we are going to be streaming next. And with that being
yeah,
said,
because there have been a lot of people who have been complaining that they were not able to register for this, because they just had to, you know about that right after the registration had closed. So if you guys don't want to do that the next time, or if you want to avoid that for the next time, just like my friend said, just go ahead, get down to the comment section, just go to the like and
did you
subscribe that as well.
Did you see that the Black Angle guys, they were actually throwing the HE grenade onto bananas, but sadly it just bounced back, and it dealt like a lot of damage to their own guy. So I guess they are going to be starting that off by a lot of damage right there. And we do
heading
see
back to the game right now, this is going to be an A push coming out there from the T side, as they are making their way out there on the mid. The smoke coming out there is actually going to nullify the guys at site, who happen to be a couple of them. It's going to be Kaka the Great trying to get one as well, and it's going to be Paulo who's going to get another as well. And 2766 is going to make sure the third guy is going to go down, and Paulo's going to get another one right out of the head of Sac2k, and he can probably get another one as well, as Jupiter is making his way through the smoke. Can he actually reveal himself at this point of time, while we are going to see another person coming out there from the Archer's side, and Jupiter is going to botch a lot of shots out there, even though doing a lot of damage on to Paulo. Can he actually get another one? But no, it's going to be Amix who is going to get that, and that is going to be the first round coming in favor for the T side, as they just lose about just one person and take everyone away.
And the bomb plant. So that is a lot of money going their way, and they are going to be starting round 2 in a very good high.
I mean, I feel that is a perfect way to start your game, with that plant being made, making sure that all the four, I mean, just about one person is going to go down, but then all the four of them are still alive, and that's going to be about 3 AKs coming in their favor, while we are going to see a MAC-10 as well as a UMP coming out there as the buys for the T side. While if you're going to look at the CT side, they're just going on to a couple of pistols out there, just a P250 as well as armor for one guy, while a CZ is going to be primed up for the for one person who happens to be Sac2k, as they are making their way onto A right now, but the bomber is still at base. He's making his way onto the second mid, while we are going to see a different push coming out there. We see all the three of them from mid who are making their way on Archers. They are going to get met upon by Sac2k. He's going to take one, but then Amix is going to trade him off. Well, we are going to see one person out there at side who happens to be DG, and he's going to go down as well. I'm sorry, Eagle, who's going to go down as well, as Kaka the Great is going to make sure that DG is going to go down. And this is going to be the same case again, a 4-on-1 in favor of Sedna, so this could be an easy plant coming in their way, as Kaka the Great is about inches away from spotting out the guy at Archers, and that happens to be Jupiter for the second time in a row. Can he actually get that kill? But no, it's going to be Lupanius who's going to get that. And yet again, a bomb plant, 4 people alive, and all of them from the CT going down. That's going to be the second round in a row for the T side.
And this is, I guess the momentum is going to be in their favor, but we will be seeing the buys coming out from the CT side. So let's actually see how that is going to be working out in their favor. And this is looking to be quite good. Round number 3 right now. And I guess Black Angle, they're not really going to go for a buy. I guess since they did.
They are actually going for a buy, but not a full buy. They're just going for pistols, and this is quite surprising to see. And by the way, guys, this is a tournament for the SCA teams, and we are looking at a match between Cambodia as well as Philippines, and let's see how it's going to be coming out, who are going to be victorious. It's just about time to see who is going to win this, as we are going to see a trade coming out there from 2766 as well as a guy from the CT side, not really going in their favor. Black Angle are forced to retreat right now as they are making their way on A side, but the bomb is going to get dropped out there. The Eagle is going to get the bomber, but then he is going to get traded out there as Amix is going to go down. But then this is going to be a 1-on-2, which is going to be against the CT side, but the bomb is still not planted, and he's making his way across Boiler. The bomb is going to get planted at this point of time. We see the AK as well as the UMP against the Deagle. He's going to get the guy at the but then it's going to be 2766 who's going to take that kill out here right onto the head. For a moment, I actually thought the guy with the Deagle is going to get that, but that clearly was not the case, as Gasmail was able to get that first frag, and it really didn't work out their way this time around as well. So this should be a full buy coming in there for the CT side, having gone on to pistols as well as armor in the previous one, and they have some cash to spend as well, so this is not really going to cost them dear.
Yeah, they can get their utilities and make sure that the T sides don't really push as fast as they did in the previous 3 rounds. And
but then when you're going to look at the T side, they have their mollies as well as their other utilities onto their favor. So this is a full stacked and full packed T side against a CT side who have bought it out fully, but not really great in terms of their utilities, because all they have is just about 1 or 2 per person, except for just one guy who's got a molly, who's got an incendiary, a grenade as well as a flashbang. So we are looking at a pretty different setup coming out there in the 4th round rather than the first 3 ones, while we are going to see the T's making their way on to bananas, where we haven't really seen the CTs peeking it out. So that's going to be a free banana setup out there for the T side, as they are priming it up for their smokes as well as mollies. Let's see whether they can probably make a play for themselves. The CT smoke coming out there is going to nullify any push coming out there from the CT side from their spawn. But then we still have Jupiter as well as his teammate guarding the crossfire out here, as they can probably take about a couple of guys. They are pushing their way on to B, and it's going to be DG who's going to get one. Amix is going to trade him off, but can Jupiter trade it out right now, as Amix is making his way right there through the smoke, and then it's going to be Jupiter who's actually holding his patience right now. Can he actually spot the bomb plant right now, because the bomb is still not yet planted, and it's going to be Amix who's going to take down Jupiter, and that is going to be Coffin, which is going to go in the T's favor. The bomb has been planted as well, but we still see the Eagle as well as another person out there at Coffin, while we actually see Gasmal making his way on to CTs, and Lucas Eagle is going to get traded out there by Paulo. Sakuke is going to get one, and it's going to be a 1 or 2 right now. Gasmal is going to be against a couple of guys from the T side, but then he's going to go and defuse the bomb. He doesn't have a kit as well, so that's going to be some precious time running in favor for Sedna, as they are going to probably win this round, because the bomb is going to get exploded anytime soon. So this is just about saving or taking the exits right now for Gasmal, as he clearly is not going to take the exits, but then he can probably go and save it out, and it's going to be Amix who just misses it by a whisker. He's just down to 1 HP. He almost lost his AK out there, and a good play coming out there from the T side. They made sure that they were able to infiltrate the B side before even the CTs could make the rotation, and that was pretty good coming out there from the B side, and that's going to be the 4th round in a row for them. So this is quite a sad play coming out there for the Black Angle, as they are making a buy this time around as well. A couple of AUGs.
It is going to be quite risky, because after this, it is only going to be Gasmal who can actually go for a buy if they lose this round. So this is going to be quite difficult for them, and since they have, went for the gamble, they have full bot for themselves. This is going to be quite hard for them to deal with, while Sedna, they're just looking like a peach, man. You see how much money they have right here, and it looks like Sedna are trying to make their way onto B. At least Kaka the Great is trying to do something. He is trying to go for a peek over there, trying to see if he can get a kill or 2, get an easy pick off, but he does manage to spot out. There is going to be a guy over near construction, so he's just going to be smoking that place off. Kaka the Great, he's not looking at the right direction. He is going to be able to get 1 kill, and the other, no, he's not going to be able to get the kill on the guy who was actually on site. side, but no, it looks like Sedna have other plans in mind. They're going to be trying to go for A right here. Archers have been smoked off, but no, Paulo is going to be caught out by the AWP from Gasmal, and Gasmal is making the plays of his life right now. He is going to be able to spot out one guy, but no, the smoke is going to be blurring his vision right here. The bomber is going to try to go for the plant, but no, Gasmal is going to be there, and with that flick to his head, he is going to be able to get the kill. Not his head, but to his body, but still a kill nonetheless.
But I really felt that he could have gone for the plant because the smoke was anyways blinding. I mean, it was actually obstructing the vision for the AWPer, but that was some precious seconds going in favor of the CT side, because had he gone for the plant, that could have been some money in favor for them, so that even if they lose this round, even though they could buy this, if they are going to lose this round, it's going to be dear for the T side, as if you're going to look at the buys coming out there, they are just going for 2 SMGs as well as 3 AKs, but I feel like if they had gone for the plant, they could have got some, I feel like the guys who brought the SMGs could have probably gone for AKs as well, or some other rifle for that matter, because that clearly was not the case, as we are going to see a 4-1 scoreline for Sedna, as they are having a 3-round lead right now. Well, we see the push coming out there from the T side, making their way onto apartments as well.
I like
second
how
and first
aggressive Sedna is playing right here. Usually, if it was any other team, they would actually try to, play it a little bit slower, but it looks like they are just here for business, and Lupianus, he is going to go for the smoke over at A side, and it looks like Paulo is going to be able to spot out one guy over there near the stairs, and he is going to try to go for the kill, but no, sadly, he has been killed already, and Paulo picks up a really good freebie right there, and it looks like the bomb is going to be planted without a lot of issues right here, but no,
but then
2K.
they have denied the plant out there. It was quite sad that they really didn't expect the guy coming out there from the smoke and trying to take him down. That was a good play coming out there from the CTs. They really gave it back for the T side, as Sedna were looking to be dominant. But Paulo, when he actually jumped out there from apartments, he really couldn't spot out the guy who was waiting and who was lurking, and who finally was able to get that 2 kills onto the guys who were making their way onto mid. So that was pretty crucial. Probably he could have actually spotted that, but the flash coming out there from the CT side made sure that he was not able to spot him out, which clearly brought them to their demise.
Which cost 2 of his comrades' life. And we are going to be seeing the CT side. Okay, they are going to be going for a boost over.
Oh, but then the push coming out there from the T side with their pistols is going to make sure that they are going to make themselves pay for it, as the Eagle as well as Paulo are going to trade it out, but they are making their way on to B. The guy coming out there from the smoke is going to get probably a couple of them, but the bomb is going to get planted at this point in time. Can he actually spot the bomb? But no, he is not going to spot it out, but it's going to be a 4-on-2 nevertheless, as it's going to be Sak2K who's going to get one. He probably could get another as well, but that is going to be one more round for Black Angle. It was pretty good coming out there. He was really the person who was actually coming out there from the smoke could have got the second kill out there, but that sadly was not the case. Even though Paulo was able to get that, he really couldn't get it at the right time, because the bomb was planted at that point of time, and probably the guy who was coming out there from the smoke, had he even tried to control his spray, he could have got that, and that could have been another pistol round coming out there.
I felt like Sedna just snuck that bomb plant right under the Black Angle's noses.
That was pretty crucial for them. That was crucial. It was not about ballsy, but I feel that was crucial, because if you're going to look at their economy, if they had not got that bomb plant, they wouldn't have bought this AKs right now. They would have probably forced on to SMGs or gone for pistols with armor, because the armor coming out there is going to be about $650, which clearly couldn't have been bought if it was going for a bomb which was not being planted. And I think that was the difference in the previous round. Let's see how this is going to pan out for them.
And since Sedna do have that resource to actually go for those armors, let's see if they can make the best use of it, because their utilities are not really the most impressive, but they do have a decent amount of them, so they can try to make a play happen. We do see Paulo, he is creating a distraction over at A, throwing down the smally, and we do see the Black Angle guys, only 2 people over at B. One guy is actually rotating right now, and this might just be a grave mistake right here, as Lupianus, he is trying to just give some fire over at B, and that is forcing some rotation coming from the guys over at A, and it looks like one player is going to be playing from the CT base. Kaka the Great is just going to be lurking around, and let's see if we can actually get the flank done or something, because he is going to be able to spot him out, but no, Kaka the Great is going to go down, and we do see a complete B push right here, as Taigo, he is going to be able to take 1 kill, but no, he is going to go down. Sadly, the smoke is going to be there blocking off Gasmal's line of sight, as Lupianus, he's going to be playing from construction. There is going to be a guy walking right onto his crosshair, and he gets that kill pretty easily. But he needs to be careful because Gasmal has a AWP, and rightly said he is going to be able to get that kill as Sak2k is going to be there with his AUG, and the bomb has been planted. So I guess this is going to be quite risky, as we do see a 2 versus 1 situation. Sak2k, he needs to be careful because they can be playing from either one of these sides, and rightly said he is going to go for the diffuse bait right here. He's going to be able to spot out one guy, but right at dark there is going to be another, and that is going to be 2766 is going to be able to get that kill onto Sak2k. And by the way, Tango, the fact that these guys have actually named their teams as Black Angle and Sedna, that's really confusing me. Like I think I almost want to say Black Eagle and Sedan.
Oh, it is quite confusing, but
it's like these guys want to do this. These guys want the guys who are, behind the camera to actually, mess up those words. Just like what happened in the
previous game. I know you had a lot of issues with the previous game. I could easily, get that, and I hope the viewers got that as well, because those are some moments which I'd like to cherish, because these guys are actually making the casters work really hard.
Yeah. And any kind of work we get is pretty good. So I guess this is going to be going really well. As we do see Sak2k, he's going to be going down as Lupianus is going to be getting the kill, and Kaka the Great is going to be following that up by getting a kill onto Taigo. Kaka the Great is going to try to go for a flash setup right here. The pop flash is going to be working, but sadly it's not going to be planting anyone else. Paolo is going to run onto side, but sadly he did not check it beforehand.
And there's a guy right on top of that box out there. Jupiter is going to be the guy who has taken that kill, and it looks as if they are making their way onto A, and it's going to be one person who has spotted them out, and the molly coming out there is not going to really help his case. It's not even spreading onto him, so it's not really going to do a lot of damage. But then it's going to be 2766 who's going to make that aggressive push onto side, and he's going to get that. And Gasmal's going to be the last person alive. He's got the op, but then that's really he's really in a point of no return, because there's no point.
Think he needs to take a risk. Because,
exactly, there's no point in him going for the kill out there, because he's got an op to save, and the rounds which are actually a 2-round deficit for the CT side is neither going to help them as well, and so is the economy, because when you're going to look at that, not more than a guy or two have money more than about $400.
An average of $300 is what they have with the people all combined. And you do see Taikul and Sak2k, they have no money in their bank, so they have to play it carefully over at the next round, because the only real gun which they're going to be playing is going to be the op which Gasmal has, and it is going to be difficult for them to salvage this by going for SMGs or pistols. I am thinking they might go for a pistol armor buy or something, because they do have I guess 2 points in the loss bonus, so that might work out for them. So let's actually see how this is going to be working out in their favor, because you saw that right there. Jupiter was he had the right idea, but as soon as he saw 3 people line up right next to his screen, he was like, oh shit.
It's really going to be hard for someone to aim at so many people at that one point of time, and all you have is just an M4. So I really feel bad for him at that. And it's going to be Gasmal heading back to the game, and he's going to get that first frag onto Paulo. That's going to be one person down, and he's actually making sure that the op is going to be quite detrimental when you're going to look at that. And let's see how this is going to happen for them, as they have this early advantage heading into themselves, because they are actually going to go onto pistols. We see about 3 P250s as well as the default USP coming out there, as Gasmal was the only one getting some armor into him as well. And we see a slow push coming out there from Sedna onto Bananas, probably executing a P, because they have smokes as well as a molly coming out there in their favor. The flashes can be a little detrimental when they are going to get the push out there, while we actually see him spot out one person. Kaka the Great has an idea that there is a person out there at CT, and we see another person making his way on a coffin. So how is this going to pan out for them? The smoke's actually going to stop him from coming, but it's going to be Third Eagle who's going to get one, and DZ is going to get one as well. This is something which they really did not predict, and this is proving to be a good eco for Team Black Angle.
And 2766 just gets that kill through that smoke. He knew his location as he was, just firing onto the smoke, trying to get that really lucky shot, as we are going to be seeing a 2 versus 2 situation right now. And it looks like Black Angle are in a decently good position right here, as we do see the defuse get onto Gasmal, so they might just have a chance. And we do see an incendiary and a hit.
That's going to be a defuse coming up, but then it's going to be 2766 yet again through smoke. That's the second kill through smoke in the same round, and that was quite surprising out there. And Gasmal is going to try something of the same. He's going to try the same thing out there, but that is not going to meet anyone. But the shot coming out there from his op is going to meet Amix right down out there, but he is trying to hunt it down as Gasmal and 2766 are going to fight it out, but it's going to be the bomb. It's going to be the bomb which is going to blow out, and that's going to be the loss of guns for both these teams. And I think this is something which they really would not be looking forward to. But then I would really think that that was a good eco coming out there. I would say a good pistol round coming out there, even though they didn't get armor for that. Just about one person was having armor, even though they lost the orb. That would be some money coming in their favor, and they could probably buy it out in the next round. So even though it didn't really work out for them, I feel like it's not something.
Yeah, they just lost that one orb, but I guess Gasnol's individual economy, it was looking a little bit better than the rest of his teammates, so he can afford to buy once more. And yes, he does. He has an orb for himself right now, and it looks like Sedna have different plans right here. Two people are going to be playing at B for Black Angle, so you know, maybe they're not even trying to, you know, bait out a rotation or anything. They're just trying to go for a straight A execute. As
then the push coming out there from Sedna is going to get DT right onto his head from Kaka, and Lupianus is going to get one more as well. So this is going to be, I would say it's about time that they are going to make the plant again, as 2766 is going to get another one out there. So let's actually see how it's going to work out right now, because both the guys who are left from the CT side are making their way from their spawn. One of them has already made it to Archers, who happens to be Jupiter. He is going to have a face-off between with another person, right, who is right at Boiler, and Amix is going to be that person. He's making his way out there onto Archers, but he clearly misses out Jupiter, who's waiting out there to see if he can take some exits out there from right in between second and first mid. And he's actually got some sounds out there. He realizes that there are a couple of guys making their way on apartments, one of them making their way right near the spawn, and let's see whether he can do something out here, because he clearly has no time. If he's going to try for a ninja or something, that's not going to really work out, and looks like he's not going to do that, as he's going for the exits at this point in time. He's going to get one. Probably he could get another one if he's going on to CT, but then it's going to be Saktuke who's going to get one, but he's going to get traded out there by Kaka the Great as well. So that's going to be exactly, that's going to be one gun down as well. So clearly not what they wanted, but I think
I think those two kills could have, I think they are going to give a little bit of a advantage for Black Angle, because they can, you know, go ahead and not face round number 12 right here with a
No, I really feel that those 2 to 3 kills which they got as exits is going to do some kind of damage, because if you're going to look at the economy of Sedna, even though that is pretty good, they can probably easily buy out the next round even if they lose this. We see Lupianus as well as Kaka the Great, including Paulo, who don't have such a great economy to go for a full buy. I mean, they could go for a full buy, but it's not going to help them out in the later stages of the game, because we are already in round number 12 and we still have about 3 more rounds after that. So that's clearly something which is going to be the positive from positive learning coming out there for the Black Angle in the previous round. And let's see how this is going to work out right now. They are sticking to their traditional 2 setup coming out there for B, while we are going to see one person at CT as well as a couple of guys at A. This has been this setup for about quite a while right now.
Except for the previous round where, you know, Sedna actually went for a full-on A push. But right now, though, they are trying to, you know, bait out a bunch of rotations right here. As we do see one person from Black Angle actually trying to rotate onto B. But it looks like they're not going to take the bait as of now. They are in a really good position near Archers, you know, being really ready to actually rotate.
And they have already rotated out here, and so it looks though as if this could probably go either ways, because even though Sedna have made it onto Archers, and Eagle is going to make his way out there, oh my god, they are actually going to make their way on a B. This is quite surprising, because that's going to leave just one person at A side, and he's going to go down as well. What a blunder coming out there from the CT side, as they had to move at the wrong time, and that is going to leave a free A side coming out there for Team Sedna. And the Mollies and Smokes are going to delay the rotation, as Black Angle have an Herculean task right now, as they need to go and get the defuse, and they don't have a lot of guns for their to their advantage as well. So all they have is a scout as well as an AK, which was picked up out there, and that's going to be Kaka the Great who's going to go down. Jupiter are actually going to try. I mean, Jupiter and his teammate are actually going to try this out, and it's going to be a 2-on-2 right now. How did they actually get to this far? And I thought they'll be actually going for a save, even though they had the round previously out there, but that's going to be Lupianus as well as 2766, who are going to make sure that Sedna are going to cruise away with this round, as it was quite tricky for them. They really had it to their advantage when we saw them making their way onto Archers. We saw about 4 of them. We saw about actually 3 of them from the CD side at A, a couple of them at Archers, one of them at CT, as well as one guy at side. But as they are making their way silently off, you know, they were making their way onto Archers. We saw both the guys from Archers as well as CT making their their way on a B, and that really allows
And you
Sedna
have to
to make
give
them.
Amex the credit for that, because Amex was actually the guy who was at B who made enough noise to actually, rattle Black Angle's pants, and we saw that blunder of a rotation.
It wasn't just about the noise which I would be crediting out there. It was actually the part that there was no action coming out there onto mid, and we really didn't see the CT speaking out too early or just playing it out really aggressive, which was quite detrimental in that. But we are going to see a fight coming out there onto apartments, while we are going to see the Eagle as well as Sak2k getting about a kill for each of them, as this is going to be an outnumber for the Black for Team Sedna, as they are 2 men short out here, as they are making their way on a B. They have a clear idea that the CTs are going to be trying to push it out. The smoke is going to deny these guys from the CT spawn to make it into B, while we are going to see the bomb which is going to be planted right now right in front of BT, but he is not firing out. Is he about... Oh my god, that was pretty close. He really couldn't fire it out, and that is going to leave them in a disadvantage, because that's more money coming in favor of Team Sedna, which something Black Angle should not allow in the first place. But then it's going to be the Eagle as well as DG who are going to get a couple of them. But then it was almost going in favor of Team Sedna, as Lupianus was able to get a guy from the spray, but all he had to do was just get that spray onto Gasmail, but he was able to get about 34 HP onto him, but that really was not enough for them to get that win onto that round. But this is going to leave us with the 15th round right now, with the 14th round right now, as we are going to see a 9-4 scoreline in favor of Team Sedna. Can they actually try to get this round so that they can close the round, they can close this half with a win in the next round as well? So it's just about time where we are going to see this, as we are heading into the 14th round at this point of time. We see the buys coming out there for both these teams, which is actually leaving me surprised right now, because if should Black Angle lose this round, this will be really hard for them. That'll be a bolt in their
yeah, they're going to be ending that half with such a a huge deficit for themselves, and we are going to be
and not just about the deficit, because if you're going to look at the next round, they wouldn't be having enough money to buy it out. So this is just about the patience game which should be coming out there from Black Angle, because any sort of mistake at this point of time is not going to help them out. And let's see how this is going to work out. The spams have already been done out there from the guy at Carpet, and let's see if they are going to push it onto A. But because we see the bomb as well as a couple of guys from the T side making their way onto bananas, even though they are sticking with their, it's been their setup all along. 3 of them at A, while we have a couple of them at B as well, and that's going to be 1 person down from the T side, as that's going to leave Kaka the Great as the only person alive out there at the T base. I mean, at the T side for the guys at A. And that's going to be 1 trade coming out there in the favor of Kaka the Great and the T side, as they are making their way on A. People pushing out there onto Boilers. Let's see whether they can actually get a play for themselves, as Sak2k has made the move right onto side, and that's going to be a free side for them, as there is going to be a guy who is at Library, and he's going to go down as well. The bomb is going to get planted right now. The guy at Archers is going to go down, who happens to be the GG, and Amex is going to make sure that he is going to get paid out there, while the last person, who happens to be Jupiter, should be going in for a save right now. But that really is not going to be the case, as he is pushing his way onto Archers. What is going wrong right here? Because the next round is going to be really hard for them. They can't really afford to go on to pistols, and looks like that is going to be the case right now, as they really could not go for... They really can't go for rifles, probably a farmers or something like that. That's how bad the economy is.
They can probably squeeze an SMG or 2, but things are not looking that good for the Black Angle. And that mistake, that really costly mistake that Jupiter made, while he could have at least saved that M4 for his team over at the next round, but sadly that was not going to be the case. And
I mean, I wouldn't really blame it on Jupiter, because he really couldn't do anything at that point of time, because A was already... He could have retreated, but it's fundamentally the guy who was at A who could have just held on to his nerve, because had he not pushed it out at Carpet, that really wouldn't have happened the way it did, as we are going to see a B push coming out there from a couple of guys from the T side, as they are making their way, as Gasman is going to get 1 person who was at apartments, while it's going to be Kaka the Great trying to bait it out, while we are going to see the T's making their way onto B. We see just 3 of them making their way onto bananas, while one of them is going to watch the backstab. They are going to push it out. That's going to be that's just going to be 1 person at B, and he's going to get about a couple of kills out there, as Sedna's 2766 is going to get that trade out there, and it's going to be Eagle pushing bravely through the smoke, and he's going to go down as well, which is going to be a 2-on-1 against the CD side, and it's going to be Gasmael who's going to be the last person surviving in that round for the CT side. This should be a round for Sedna as well. So this is going to leave them with about 7 rounds to their cushion. 11-4 is the scoreline for Team Sedna. This should be a cakewalk for them if they are going to go on to CT side and just keep rotating like how Angle clearly didn't, and I think this is something that could go in their favor should they just try to do the same thing in the next 3 to 4 rounds. Because
well, I guess the pistol round right now is going to be playing a large part onto how much of a lead that Sedna can take, whether they can maintain this, or it is going to be Black Angle trying to do
absolutely, because I feel the first 2 rounds from this point is going to be really detrimental in deciding who's going to be the winner. Because if Sedna are going to get these 2 rounds, the game will be for them. I'm pretty sure about that, because unless they don't try to, lose it out by taking some unnecessary pushes. But that's going to be some good play coming out there by the guy at Abs. He was able to get as much as information as he could as he spotted the guys making their way on to second mid, and that's going to be some good information coming out there, while we are going to see 2766 making his way from CT on to Arches. And this is a good strat coming out there, while we see the bomb which is being dropped at mid. And we see a guy who is watching bananas as well to see if there are any pushes coming out there from Sedna, and that clearly is not going to be the case, while we are going to see 2766 who is going to spot out Jupiter and doing some damage out there. 21 HP is what he's done, and Kaka the Great is going to get tagged out here, but he is going to make sure that 2766 is going to go down, as he is going to take one person down before going, and this could be a bomb plant coming in favor for the T side, as Paulo is trying to make sure that he is not going to go down right now, as Eagle he's going to get one onto Lupiano's head, as this is going to be a 4-on-1 in favor of the T side. Black Angle could probably get around finally out here, as Amix is going to really screw that aim up, and he is going to give 1 round away for Black Angle, and this is a crucial round for the T side, as they finally have got the pistol round for themselves, and which means that
they've stopped the momentum that Sedna had, and this is going to be working out in their favor, at least for this round, because I believe Sedna are not going to be buying anything. I guess they can go for pistol and armor.
And we've actually seen one person going on for, actually a couple of them going on for P250, so this is quite surprising, because if at all Sedna could get this round, they could probably stop Black Angle for that for the next round's buy, probably, and even make sure that their economy is pretty stable, I would say.
And we are going to be looking at Sack2K with an AK, just trying to figure out if Sedna is going to be peeking over at Bananas. But that is highly unlikely, because Sedna really don't have any guns. So I guess they're going to be playing it a little bit safer. We do see 2 people over at mid for Black Angle trying to go for the push, and it looks like that might just be the case. The bomb, though, it is going to be at T-spawn, so they have to be careful. And Sack2K, I think he is getting a little bit too reckless. He needs to go back to T-base, get that bomb, and get to A, because I believe that is where the action is going to be, as we do see DG. He is going to try to do a setup over at
oh, the flash is going to blind the guy at pit, and let's see how this is going to work out for them as they are making their way over there. But it's going to be Paulo who's going to take one. He could probably take another as well, but no, he goes down, as Kaka the Great is going to clean that mess out here. He is going to make sure that he is going to play some time out here so that he can allow some time for the CTs to make their way on A, because right now they have been outnumbered. The T side have been outnumbered, but when you're going to look at the economy as well as the guns as well as the HP for all these players, I would clearly say that the Black Angle have this round for themselves, as if in case, oh, that's going to be a really good spray coming out there from Sack2K. He manages to get both the guys out here, and this is looking bleak for Sedna to go for the retreat, to go for the retake right now, as we are going to see the Eagle as well as Sack2K getting another one as well. So that's a good 3K coming out there for Sack2K, as he was able to get that spray onto the couple of guys who were making their way from library, and that was pretty good, and he was able to get the last kill as well. So that's going to be 2 rounds in favor for the T side, as it looks like they are trying to make the comeback right now. Like I just said, a 2-round win in the second half could probably increase the chances of getting the comeback, and looks though as if that could be the case, as we are going to see Sedna, who are making the buy right now, a couple of AUGs, a Farmers, a M4A1S, as well as a UMP in the ranks right now, with a lot of utilities except for Kaka the Great as well as Amix, just with flashes as well as mollies. And let's see how that's going to work out. That's actually going to stop the T side from pushing into B. And let's see how this is going to pan out for them, as we see a couple of AKs coming out there, but it's going to be Lupianus who's going to get one. A long range shot coming out there from the UMP is going to be really surprising, and I think the T side have no idea of what hit them, as Gasmal is going to wait out there to see if there are any pushes being made by Team Sedna, while we are going to see the rest of the T side making their way onto arches as well as boilers, and they're actually making their way onto boilers courtesy of the smoke coming out there. And it's going to be Kaka the Great who's going to get one. He could probably get another as well, but he manages to tag Jupiter, while Paulo as well as 2766 are going to try to make it out, and that is going to be another round for Team Sedna, the first round in the second half for them, and that is going to be some economy, some money coming in their favor, and most importantly they just managed to get back those rounds which the T side have been winning in the second half. They won 2 rounds in a row, and they made sure that that momentum is going to slip into their favor.
And this is going to be quite hard for Engel to deal with, as they are going to be going for a very questionable set of guns. We see one AK, a Deagle, a MP5 and another one. So I guess this is going to be quite weird coming from the side of Black Engel. I don't really know how well they can make this work. They only have one smoke from Jupiter, and it looks like the grenade being thrown down over at Bananas is going to deal a little bit of damage. Okay, actually no, it's not really going to be dealing any damage to Black Angle. I guess they just escaped by a hair's breadth. Paulo is going to be throwing down an incendiary over at the apartments, making sure that the push is not going to be there, as Sedna 2766 is going to keep an eye over at mid from arches, and that is a really good angle because we do see 2 people actually moving towards that, and he does manage to spot one of them out, and he does deal a little bit of damage to DG right there, and DG needs to play it a little bit more careful. Sack2K, he is going to be making the play over at the mid right now, as we do see the push coming from the side of Black Angle. They're going to be going towards the art side, but they have to be careful. There is going to be one guy near a library. He is going to be playing that a little bit safer.
Oh, but then it's going to be 2766. Like you just said, he's going to get a couple of kills out there, as Lupianus is going to get one as well, and that is probably going to be one more kill coming out there, and that's going to be a second round in a row for Team Sedna. They really couldn't, the T side really couldn't be able to execute onto A, as they probably knew that they should have actually known that there would be a guy watching arches, but they were really reckless in terms of...
They were hoping for too much. They were hoping for a really free bomb plant or something like that. But you have to give credits to Sedna, because you saw it right there. They closed off Bananas. They made sure that, okay, they can't really push B. They have 2 of these guys sitting over at B, making sure that no push is coming. If they are going to be getting killed or something, we know that the information is given that these guys are pushing B. But no, sadly that was not the case, and they were forced to actually go to A. As we are going to be seeing Black Angle, the bomber is actually going to be moving forward over to mid. He's going to be taking a little bit of damage from the
this
molly.
Is beautiful. He's actually got damage from the molly from both the sides. One was right at his own place. I mean, something which his own teammate had good, but it's going to be Paulo who's going to get one. He really botches the shot, and he wasn't able to get the second one as well. And right now it's going to be 4 on 4, equally in favor of none right now, as the bomb is going to get... Oh, it's actually going to get faked right now, but it's going to be Kaka as well as Lupianus who's going to get a couple of kills right now, and all of a sudden it's going to be 4 on 1. 7 HP is what Jupiter is going to have, and he is going to go down as well. What a comeback coming out there from Sedna. They just made sure that the T side were able to get onto side, and then they were able to close it in, which is quite brilliant coming out there from the guy who was at side, who happened to be 2766. He almost took out the planter. He was able to make sure that the guys were quite unsuspecting that there will be a guy at site, and they just let them pass on the side.
I guess the smoke which they actually did to set up the bomb plant, that did not really allow them to see the guy who was already on site. And we are seeing Sedna, they have this huge advantage. They just need one more round to get to match point. And Lupianus, oh my god, he is going to be able to spot out the guy who's actually going for an aggressive push over at Bananas, and the HE grenade is going to be thrown down right there. That is going to be dealing a lot of damage to DG, who only has a Mag 10. And you see Black Angle right there, they have 4 people, 3 Mag 10s and 1 UMP, and not a lot of utilities to work with, not a lot of smokes to work with. So this is going to be quite hard right here. Lupianus is going to be getting 3 kills right now. Can he get the 4th one? As he is going to try and peek over at Bananas. He's going to be jumping over, trying to get as much information as possible. DG is going to be moving right there, but no. A-Mix is going to be getting that kill onto DG, and that is going to be match point for Team Sedna. And this is looking... I don't know. This is just getting a little... depressing right here for the side of the Black Angle, because I don't know, they've just been messing up frequently and consecutively ever since they won that 2 rounds in the second half. They've just
I really felt that they had a chance after they got those 2 rounds in the second half, but then it all seemed to be going in the favor of Sedna. Right after that, they were just able to get that 1 round, and after that, it's Sedna everywhere, because right now we are right in the match point for them as they are making their way. We're seeing a 3. Oh, they are actually pushing it out right now. Sedna are making this aggressive push onto Bananas to see if they can spot someone out, but the smoke is actually going to block their vision out there, as we are going to see the rest of the T side making their way onto first and second mid respectively, while they are making their way onto library as well. It's going to be Sedna's 2766 who's going to get that opening frag, and Paulo is going to follow it up with another as well. This is going to be probably the game for them. This is a 5-on-3, 5-on-2 right now. All they have is just an AK as well as a Galil, as CG is going to get one, and it's all about PG right now, just about with 9 HP, 18 HP, and that's going to be Sedna who are victorious out there. 16-6 is the scoreline. What a play coming out there. 2766 was making sure that they rightly had it into their own
his
favor.
positioning in this game completely, and the amount of trigger patience that he actually had, as he was, the round before this, where he was just waiting on the A side, making sure that there wasn't any pushes coming or something. It was really good right there, and you have to give credits to Sedna because they were playing angle like a fiddle. They were playing them like a fiddle, and you saw it right there. They were closing off B side as soon as they shifted their sights. They were just making sure that Black Angle did not have an opportunity to go for B. They were making sure that all of their options were closed, and as soon as they came to A, when they had that information that, okay, these guys are pushing over at A, the rotations were being made very fast, and that made sure that they could defend it with all of their firepower.
There were a couple of times where 2766 had some other plans for the T side, where he just let them come onto side, and then he made sure that the CT side were able to get that. He literally got them playing to their own tune right now, as he made sure that Sedna were able to go home victorious with that, because at one point of time in the second half, the first 2 rounds when it went on to the Black Angle, I thought they have a really good chance of getting the comeback, but then right after that they just lost that round, and they just lost the momentum which had been building up for them, and that was a lot of money going in the favor of the CT side. And right from that, they had been forcing every round, because at that point of time it was about 13 rounds which the Sedna was having with them, and they really could not afford to go for an eco, because the chance of comeback for them was going really bleak for them, and it just went on right adrift right after that round, I would say.
And yeah, that is going to be a really good game of CSGO that we just saw. A really marvelous display of your game sense, of your skills. So congratulations, Sedna. You are going to be qualifying for the quarterfinals, and we are going to be seeing how that is going to be playing out, because we know that, once it gets to those quarterfinals, semifinals, the quality of gameplay just
we have been seeing that for a fact, that we have been seeing that right from the day we had started the stream, right from round 1 till round 4. We have seen we really couldn't see much of action coming out there in the first round, as we saw all damn squibs coming out there, 16 zeros. We really couldn't find
2 16 zeros in one day. Like that was a highlight. Like I guess that is the peak of this tournament, where the 2 games which we just saw, 16 zeros. Like I really did go back home and read the comment section below, and it was like people were kind of getting bored, but once all of these new games started rolling up, you could actually see, okay, this is the face of Southeast Asian CSGO, and these guys are going to be one of the best teams over at this region, and we are going to be seeing who is going to be at the top, who's going to be winning that the lion's share of this $2,400.
I'm really intrigued to see who is going to win this tournament, because right till now, the matches we have been streaming, we have seen a lot of impeccable plays coming out there from the winners, and we have finalized. We have just seen who are going to be those 8 people who are going to take part in the quarterfinals. And by the way, guys, the quarterfinals is going to start from the 4th of April, and we will be looking forward to see you there. And with that being said, this is time for us to sign off, and we will be leaving you with the highlights of this game in case you just missed it out. And also, if you feel like you should have been, if you have missed a lot of things right now, this is going to be the time where you are going to click that like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you need to be updated regarding what is happening right now.
You know what the kids these days like more than Facebook and YouTube? They like Instagram, and I mean that is like a dumber version of Facebook, but still Instagram does its thing. Like it's more informative in the form of pictures. And you know what you guys have to do is follow us on Instagram, because we do keep posting all of the updates which you see in the other social media platforms, so you guys can get to know about what tournaments are up next for Playtonia, and you will be, you know, getting that first scope on when to register and how to do that. And with that being said, you guys just have to hit that follow button, and I guess we'll be signing off in a little bit, so go ahead and enjoy the highlights after a short commercial break, and we're just gonna be signing off right now, I guess. So
this is Olbar, like he just said, and this is
Tangenberg.
Also known as Sriram Vishal. And we'll be looking forward to you and meeting you on the 4th of April for the quarterfinals. Ciao.
My friend, I am tired of this talk AK, man. But it still does the job too, right? Yes, I know. But I want to look cool, you know? Why don't you just go to playtonia.com, man? Play what?
Breakthrough.